Well. A non-victory Monday as we're recording this, but it's all love because we are still here. Arthur Moats, joined by the WRAL Channel 5 producer in Raleigh, North Carolina, Mark Bergin. And we got to give our recap of this here Sunday night debacle. 35-25 loss. Steelers taking the L to the Green Bay Packers, falling to 4-3 on the season. Mark, where you want to start at? Where do you want to start at? You look nice, by the way, man. I just want to let you know, man. You look sharp. Is this what we get when we don't have success? We get the nice sweater, the clean look. I'm just saying, man. This is different.
Had to throw the J. Crew cashmere sweater on because I'm licking my wounds this morning, and the reason why I'm putting up the goose egg, Arthur. No turnovers again for the Steelers defense. 454 yards allowed to Jordan Love and the Packers offense. That's where we got to start this conversation. But yeah, man, I got this sweater on. Thank you to my J. Crew people, because I was like, you know what? If I'm licking my wounds this morning, I at least want to be comfy, Arthur.
And look, I like it. See, I took a different approach. I was over here feeling morbid about it. I'm like, you know what? We're going to throw some Grateful Dead, but I'm still repping the black and gold. So give me a Grateful Dead Steelers combo. I'm kind of here. I'm kind of not. It's just a rough one. Mark, I was at the game last night, Mark. I'm tired. Like? I was standing up. Like? Yeah. I'm clapping. It was electric. Shout out to the Packers fans. It was they were sprinkling in there on occasion. Not too bad, but they was in there. And it's just like, come on, man. Because the whole game is back and forth if you think about it. It's not until the fourth quarter where they actually, have their lead taken away. And then from there, that lead is like, whoa, what happened to the lead? We used to have a lead. Oh, God, is this about to get a blowout? Is this turned into now? How did we get here? But up until that point, man, it was electric. Because you talk about Rodgers, you talk about, man, seeing these dudes run out on that field with them gold, with the crest. And it's like, at first, everybody's over here. Oh, man, I don't like the uniform. Oh, man. Man, they came out that day going tunnel with them unis on. We was all here like, yo, that thing's clean. From the optics standpoint, man.
All right.
And then you throw in everybody in there with the jerseys on in the crowd. And we just like, okay. And we just feel it right. Everything's feeling right. Even the fact that we're hitting field goals, right? Settling for field goals, and they're missing their field goals. It's like, oh, we've seen this before. And it was frustrating, though, at the same time, because all of us in the stadium were saying the same thing. Like, dang, all right. Even though stat-wise, their pass rush numbers were insanely gaudy, in the stadium, it did not. The stadium was like, yo, it looked like Parsons was on him every single time he dropped back. It looked like Gary was every single time we dropped. I'm like, Lord. So that was the other side of it. And then, obviously, it comes down to the two-point conversion. We're like, hey, even in true Steelers fashion, it could all go wrong, and we still have a legitimate shot. Let's see, can we get it? And we over here like, okay, because we were sitting at end zone. It's like, you see Roman Wilson score his touchdown, and all of us in the stadium are like, man, that had to be a touchdown just because how long it took, and the ball comes out, but you don't get the audio while you're in there. So then, obviously, you look at Jonnu the next play, and it has a little bit of a similar flair. We're like, okay, can we get that one too? And then, of course, no. But then after that, it was we look like the losers because we're leaving super early at our own game, and it was not cool. That part sucked. But literally for the first 3 quarters, man, we was feeling good. First 3 quarters in there, man, the energy was right. It was appropriate. They had all the fireworks, all the pyros going off. You know how that is, Mark. But we just couldn't get the... Now, Pittsburgh. Can I ask you, though?
Go ahead.
The Jordan Love scrambling around, throwing it up. Kraft catches it. I think it was Elliott maybe that falls off. And he has like the long, weird breakaway route. I feel like at that point was when we felt like momentum really shift. Did it look as fluky on camera as it did? Okay, because if they were just like sack, turnover, what the heck is this? What did we miss here, man?
That play compounded. I think it was the drive before, Arthur, where it looked like Parsons jumped off sides and Rodgers tried to quick count him to get a free play, and that's where he's cursing out the referees. And I'll let
Yep.
People who know how to read lips interpret what Rodgers told the referee. But it was that play was like compounded by, I think that was the drive before that play happened. And it was just like from there, it really seemed like the momentum of the game flipped.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I felt in the stadium, man. And then it was just like, okay, one thing happens and then it's another little thing. And then we go through that fourth quarter of once they took that lead, that long drive they had between the third and fourth. From there, it's punt for us, touchdown for them. Punt for us, touchdown for them. Another punt, then they get the field goal. Then I think at that point we have the fumble, and then they get another. And it's just like we got whooped in that fourth quarter.
Yes.
And that's the as crazy as it is, you're like, man, when I woke up, I'm like, yo, was the game that crazy? Because it felt like nasty. But then I'm just looking, I'm like, it's the fourth quarter that felt nasty. And rightfully so. Like they got after us at that stage. But this was also refreshing, man, because we said information, right? Coming into this game, me and you both said, man, we're going to see if the mode or the way that we've been winning, if that can work versus a team that can score a little bit more, that can press you a little bit. And with Green Bay, they have been a little bit up and down in terms of their offensive production. But that was the part where we got a chance to see that, okay, if we don't get those turnovers, if we're not able to win in those margins, it's tough for us to win this type of game right now. And the reason I feel like it's tough on that is because offensive line wise, we know we are not geared to just sit back and just drop back pass like that the whole time. But our stars also got to play better. I feel like, man, in a game like that, you look at their stars and you look at our stars. We could talk coaching as much as we want, and rightfully so with that as well, right? All of the matchups, though. But when we boil it down to these type of games, primetime games, good team versus good team, your star players have to outplay their star players. And when we compare all of our stars, whoever we consider a star, and you compare it to theirs, we're going to keep saying, yeah, man, they kind of won that one. They kind of won that one. I felt like Jalen Warren won his. But outside of that, it's like, So all of that factors in terms of our style, because we don't play a spread out team ball style where, you know, everybody is kind of getting paid around the exact same, right? Like we talk about with Minnesota. No. We said with us, we are very star heavy. We got a handful. It's like, yo, highest paid, second highest paid. Oh, top 5 of this position. Like we have that around here. And if those guys don't outplay the other version of that, we're going to struggle. And that was the case, man, whether we're talking offense or on defense at a lot of those positions.
Arthur, let me hop in here. So you're mentioning in the first half, the Steelers had a 16-7 lead. Third quarter goes the Packers' way, 7-3. But then the fourth quarter, the Packers outscore the Steelers 21-6. And you look at all the yardage, you look up the 35 points allowed. I'm very happy you mentioned this, Arthur. The Packers missed 2 field goals in this game as well. So that could have been an even higher total. You talk about the stars and in the first half. I'm not saying that this is why the Steelers lost the game, but first half where Rodgers looks off the safety and he's got DK Metcalf down the seam in a one-on-one. Metcalf gets inside position. It's Carrington Valentine for the Packers. The defensive back knocks it away. If that play goes in Pittsburgh's favor, so there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts, but to me, it's the defense. And I also want to point this out to anyone listening or watching, because some people might say, well, just blitz more. If you can't get home with 4, let's go back to Blitzburg. Jordan Love was 11 of 15 and had 183 of his passing yards against the blitz last night. It's not as simple as let's just dial it up and go after Jordan Love.
I'm glad you had those numbers also.
Either. Yes.
Yep. I'm glad you had those numbers, because you know that's the, man, why didn't we blitz? It's like, oh, we blitzed. Nah.
So it's nice to be able to rely on Boswell, who had 2 different 56-yard field goals, a 50-yarder, and then the other one was 40-some. He's going to get paid in the offseason. He looks great. But it's not as, like, the defense, my level of concern is 0 out of 10, Arthur. closer to 10 than it is 5. Let me just put it that way.
Ooh, and I did want to ask too, man, how did you feel about Green Bay's offense as a whole?
Well, getting Watson back helps too. They have a lot of targets. There's a reason why a lot of people thought the Packers were Super Bowl contenders going into this year, and they've sputtered a little bit. They looked good in the opener against Detroit, and so it's like, it's a good football team. It's a really, really good football team. But I look at this historically too. The first Packers win in Pittsburgh since 1970. I'm like, I know that these teams don't play that much against one another, but it's just like, man, to me, it's the defense got to figure it out and figure it out quick, because we can talk about the money, NFL's highest paid, but by and large, what I've seen from this defense this year, they haven't performed to the level that you would expect for the premium that you're paying a lot of dudes at different positions. And it's like, Arthur, we talked in previous weeks about stopping the run. And I would say, well, you watch the game through the lens in which you played it. 20 consecutive completions for Jordan Love? Come on, man. Like got to be better than that, man. Got to be better than that. 20 straight? 20 straight. Hey.
And I would say this also. I'm glad that you talked about Green Bay the way that you did. Super Bowl contenders, right? None of us would be surprised if they were representing the NFC. None of us would. And even with all of that, even with all of the defensive concerns, specifically with the fourth quarter, we had the lead. Let's not lose sight of that. 3 quarters of football completed. We were winning. So, once again, it's like, yeah,
I thought Renegade was going to rally Pittsburgh, Arthur. Sorry.
No, I didn't think that. The reason I didn't is injuries. I mean, you think about it, right? You bring Watson back, you bring Matthew Golden back, and we're out here with respect to Brandon Echols and Juan Thornhill. It's like, come on, man. There's levels to it. So I get it. Highest paid defense, 1,000%. But when we start looking at the weeds of the fourth, it's like, is that really the highest paid defense at that stage? Are these actually our best players in the scenario? Nah. So now you're trying to get out of a stadium, but you're doing it against what you and me both would agree is a really good football team. So is it really this overly crazy situation, or are we looking and we're having little things where we're saying, okay, where was the health part at that stage of the game? Also, could our players play better, the guys that were healthy, right? In terms of our pass rush, because when we look at Jordan Love, right, as much as he passed for, how many times was he hit? How many times do we get after him, right? Because you and me both know that what? Rush and coverage work together. It's not just, hey, on the pass rush, right? It's not just on the coverage. You got to work in concert. So if we already are identifying that, hey, we got some weaknesses on the back end, and they actually got some of their better players back this game, if that's going to be the matchup that's probably going to slant it now back in their favor, our guys in the trenches have to help out. No different than if, hey, we can't create pressure, we would be saying, well, on the back end, man, somebody create a turnover, man. Y'all got to cover better. Y'all got to do a better job. It goes both ways. So it's hard for me personally to put a lot of the onus on Brandon Echols, on Dagon Juan Thornhill, when it's like, yo, we didn't look at those dudes as, yo, these are the stars that we want out there. Nah. But in injuries, they happen. Get out there. Do the best you can. They don't care about that. You think Christian wants to care about that? Absolutely not. You think Matthew Golden care about that? Absolutely not. You think Tucker Kraft cared about that?
The tight end killed us, man.
Killed us. One of his biggest plays was against who? So once again, it's like, do you think any of them cared about that? No. So that is why we say as a team, when you see somebody that's a little bit less than, man, the guys that are force multipliers, the guys that do get paid the crazy money, y'all got to be the ones to say, okay, I got you. I got to take it to another level. And that was the day that I left out of there with. I was just like, I just didn't feel like our guys elevated to that level, which I thought they were capable of doing. It did, especially when you're looking at the other stars in there make plays. Jordan Love was out playing Rodgers. When you look at their receivers, it was like, man, DK was like up and down, it felt like in the stadium. But then you look at their guys, it's like, dang, big play, big play. We know tight end wise, it wasn't even a debate. And we feel like we're the best tight ends out. We feel like we use all our tight ends. And it was like, yo, we're not even talking about that today. But then it was like, yo, Parsons makes loud plays. Their defense makes loud plays. Our defense, where was our linebackers able to make loud plays? They were making tackles, but it was like, man, I'm seeing Cooper everywhere. I'm like, yo, what the heck is this? So that's the thing to me that is both frustrating, but at the same time, the beautiful part in it. If that's going to be considered one of the best teams you're going to play all year, if this is where we're at with it, cool. Let's go see these other ones there. I wonder how many people think that Cincinnati's offense is so terrible, right? Let's talk about that also. They just put another 38 piece up. But hey, I know it's old man Joe Flacco, but when we say these things, I get it. It's more exciting to go doom and gloom, but it's like, yo, context matters. Context freaking matters. And you look at the results. He's like, okay, oh, I see this. Oh, okay, I see that context. Huh? Okay, I see that. Okay,
I think what you can get frustrated about though is we were so excited about the cornerback play with Porter getting help with Slay and Ramsey. We're gonna lock people up, and play man on the outside, and then we've had back-to-back weeks now where the defense as a whole hasn't been good enough.
Yep.
But again, 20 straight completions. You can expect that a week ago with Chase and Higgins, but it's Packers offense with a lot of different weapons. Deshaun Elliott going out, that's big with the knee injury. Sayumalu offensively too. I want to stay on defense,
that.
But
what did that look like though? The Elliott, because we couldn't even see it in the stadium. We know it was on the big craft, one of the big craft receptions, but we couldn't see like what actually happened.
I'll say this, two things. So the glass half full perspective would be whenever you don't need a cart, Arthur, it's like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as you might expect. But when he was being helped off by, I think, two different people, he looked like he couldn't put any weight on the knee at all. So that's not good. That'd be the glass half
we see
empty.
how the players were reacting, we were just like, oh my God, is it like bad? And then they would have showed a replay. So we're like, oh man, like, is it? And then instantly I go, well, shoot, we just seen Scatterboo earlier today. God, dog, please don't tell me it's like bad. But like I said, I never got a chance to see the replay of it.
Well, we'll see. We'll know more as this week goes on.
Yeah.
I am not a doctor. You are not a doctor, Arthur.
Respect.
I would be shocked if he played against the Colts. I don't think that will happen, but we'll see how that plays out.
Fair.
We'll see how that plays out. But you miss him in the secondary, and what a playmaker he's been since he's been in a Steelers uniform.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to stay in the defense, but losing Sayumalu at left guard too, because then Anderson you have to use at left guard. You can't use him as your sixth lineman.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see how the chain reaction. And interesting too, Parsons I thought would want more of Broderick Jones, but he was really targeting the guards. McCormick, that was his like, I want that one. I'm just like, oh, interesting about that matchup, man. But
it's like the pick and roll in basketball, man.
Yeah. It's like, who do you want of this? I'm like, I thought they would want that one, but he really was liking that guard matchup, man, versus Mason.
What defensively, because a week ago, Arthur, you're like, all right, got to stop the run, got to stop Chase Brown. Defensively, where do you start in trying to correct all this? Because look, I'm not trying to look past Sunday night. This doesn't get any easier against the Colts and Jonathan Taylor and company.
Yeah, so I think to start
Warren,
off,
the tight end as well, another stud tight end.
Oh yeah.
So what do we do, Arthur? Like it's just like
to start it off. Were you better against the run this week than you were on Thursday night? The answer is yes. So that already lets you know, okay, we got better in this phase. Now the next part is we know we got to figure out these long completion streaks. Now. We know with Joe Flacco, the whole Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, we talked about that kind of perfect storm scenario. And then you saw them all obviously still be able to replicate success, 38 points. I think Chase had 12 catches in that one as well. These are a lot of catches, a lot of targets. We talked about Jordan Love, spread it around a little bit more, but he still was able to do what? Man, I like this matchup with Kraft. And then when you get the injury, it's like, yo, that's where you want to go. So to me, when I look at Indianapolis, at least on the early front, it's more run the ball, play action, pass. It's not these style of offenses or not Green Bay style offense to the full degree. It favors that though. So big thing is going to come down to the trenches again. It's the same thing every week. If you win in the trenches, which is where we have our money, we're going to win. It's the if, as, buts about it. I know we would have talked about this could be exciting or that could be exciting, but it really boils down to that. That's why we pay the guys that we have paid. That's why we drafted the guys that we have drafted. when those guys don't win, it's going to look like last night. Now, on occasion, you can still get out of a stadium when teams have malpractice, right? That's the turnovers. When teams have turnovers, that's how you can make up the difference. When teams are highly penalized, that's how you make up the difference. Mm-hmm. But when teams are able to operate with professionalism and not have those issues, you can see where the separation happens. That was yesterday. We don't create the turnover. We don't do anything to make up the difference in the margins. And now it's like, okay, what's going to stop them from winning these one-on-one matchups? Because it wasn't like we're playing zone. We weren't just sitting back. Oh, man, here we are playing zone again. No, you called it yourself, right? You talk about the blitzes. We were in a lot of man. But once again, you can play all the man you want to play. If your matchup isn't good, your matchup isn't good. Highest paid, all we want. It's like, yo, like I said, at that stage of the game in the fourth quarter, that wasn't the highest paid out there. But you out there. Get it how you live. No excuses. That's why you'll hear me up here making excuses. Like, hey, man, if that's considered one of the top teams, cool. You saw where you were at. Now you got another AFC top team coming up in Indianapolis. Let's see how you adjust to that. They're not going to throw the ball as frequently as these past two teams, but they are going to run the ball like a son of a gun. And you better be ready for that one because they got a dog over there. So I'm interested now to see, okay, how are we going to adjust to this? Because we've been all on this pass kick, right? All of us. How are we going to stop the pass? How are we going to stop the pass? Jordan Love's a $100 million quarterback for a reason, right? We don't look at Jordan Love and say Jordan Love is a fringe top 20 quarterback. Nah, we say he's trying to get into that top 5. Some people feel like he is. Me personally, I'm like, I think he's in that 7 to 10 range. But that's that right there. And they feel like, yo, they should win like that. They feel like they have that type of team. Me and you both disagree with that, but it's more so because we feel like our team should be playing better. But when they don't, what we going to say about it, right?
Yeah, the pass defense is just in terms of total yardage, passing yards allowed, 29th in the league. Doing live math here. That's got to get better. That's got to get better. But I'm going to say this too. Mention the no turnovers. Not having a single sack against Jordan Love.
So we're going to holler about Brandon
Hayward,
we're going to holler about the DBs, right?
Herbig,
you want to holler about the
Harmon
DBs.
as a first-round pick.
Right.
Y.A. Black as a draft pick.
But you want to holler about
Benton.
the DBs. Think about it. And you want to talk about the DBs. I'm like, are we serious about to talk about Brandon Echols, Juan Thornhill? We're doing that?
Got you.
When you just named what you just named? Like, I can't get upset with those dudes on the back end. I can't.
And if I hear this week, I'm not like, it's not that you can't criticize Terrell Austin or Mike Tomlin's defense. Yeah. But if I hear someone this week say, and you can cut this for social, Arthur. If I hear someone this week to say, the Steelers just need to blitz more. Again, Love 11 of 15, 183 of his passing yards came against the blitz. What are we talking about? So I get so fired up about this because I'll say this. The one thing that probably drove me even more nuts than the Steelers' performance last night, Arthur, some of the stuff I see on Twitter during the game, it's just like, what?
The logic at times. I'm with you. But that's the frustrating part. I'm just like, we can call whatever call you want to call. And that's the day where I'm like, I know everybody wants blood. They want somebody. But I'm like, yo, the person that y'all really should want to hold accountable, y'all not going to want that blood. No, none of us want that blood. But if we really getting down to it, it's like, yo, who are the guys that are paid to be dominant? We throw out highest paid defense for a reason. So of the highest paid defenders, who were available, right? And let's look at what they did or did not do. And that is what it boils down to in games like this, because Green Bay plays a very similar style to how we play. Keep it close, hang around, wait, you're going to make a mistake. Take a shot deep, right? They feel good about their quarterback. We feel good about our quarterback. They feel like they can run the ball. We feel like we can run the ball. They love their defense. We love our defense. It's like if everything is equal, if everything was balanced, right? We looked at the statistics, right, going into the matchup. That everything was like, yo, spot on. But it's like, yo, our stars, our highest paid guys, they have to show up. They got to. They have to. Whether you're talking about highest paid in terms of contracts, highest paid in terms of draft capital, We went down the list. Oh, you Harmon, Highsmith, Cam, TJ, Herbig, Sawyer. It's like, yo, and y'all ain't even pinch him? You ain't even breathe on him? Not once? Like, huh?
Zero.
You catch what I'm saying?
Zero
Not
sacks.
once?
Zero sacks.
Like, great, we stopped the run. Great, we did that well. That was better than what it was last week. Thank the Lord. But now I'm like, we can't be seeing you guys are the problem because y'all are the money. I can't fire Terrell Austin. Why you want to fire Terrell Austin? You don't want to them you got to worry about. But that's where the money's at right now. So if they don't step up and play more consistent, we're going to keep having these conversations. We're going to keep talking about our secondary because who has also been banged up throughout the season? Our secondary. JPJ has missed multiple weeks, right? Deshaun Elliott has missed multiple weeks, right? It's like, man, these are two dudes that when we looked at our roster coming into the season, so yeah, highest paid defense, and we feel great because we got guys that can match up, lock up, whatever we want to do. We haven't even had these guys all together healthy at the same time. But which group have we had? That's right. So if the front is the healthiest, and that's where we got all of our money at, all of our resources at, to be, I just think that that's where more expectations have to fall on. That's where the burden goes on of, yo, if somebody has to do extra, y'all have to be the ones. But you're capable of it. That's why you get paid the way that y'all getting paid. That's why y'all the higher end draft picks.
You got to be able to get home with 4, Arthur.
Yeah.
For the amount of money that you're paying. And it's not just the NFL's highest paid. It's the highest paid by considerable margin.
Oh, yeah. And it's
where-
designed specifically for that.
Correct.
To not have to blitz. When you start saying, man, we 11, 14 on blitz, it's like, yo, we're blitzing that. That's way too much for the way that our defense is structured. If you don't want to keep seeing it, yo, why we keep getting beat right there with the water? Oh, man, this is it's like, yo, that's when you have to keep blitzing. That's what you get. And versus quarterbacks that are higher level, which Jordan Love is, you're going to be able to see and read against it. And that's why you typically don't want to blitz against high level quarterbacks, because you're taking the guy out of it and you're giving them the answer right away. So those are the things where you look at Green Bay and it's like, yeah, they're going with their little Parsons walks around, little spinner look. And it's, yeah, that 4-man create a lot of pressure and you see the difference in it.
Oh, man. Just part of it too, Arthur, is not so much as even losing last week, but it's the back-to-back losses to where the defense is just looked dreadful.
30 plus.
Yeah.
It's like, oof.
It should have been 40.
That's not
again.
what you want to see. That's not what you want to see, man.
2 missed field goals. It could have been 4. If you think about this, Arthur, in a make-believe, if you just flipped the kickers in this game, where Boswell's kicking for Green Bay and we have Green Bay's kicker. Oh my gosh.
Hey, man, it's one of them was, man. It's one of those things. But at the same time, they didn't. And you live with that. But absolutely, man, you got to be better. But that's how I look at this thing right now. I'm like, you know where the talent is. You know where the money is. I'm not running away from that. That's where the talent is. That's where the money is. When we look at our receivers at times, we're like, yeah, we need more production. The first person we expect production from is DK Metcalf. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? When we look at our running attack, we expect production from Jalen Moore. It's like, yo, you're paid to do this. This is the expectation. Heck, if our quarterback wasn't playing well, we'd be looking at Rodgers like, hey, man, what you doing, bro?
All right. I'm glad you mentioned that. I want to talk a little some about Rodgers last night. Maybe in just 18 years in Green Bay. I watched a lot of college football, Arthur. If the Steelers are smart, they're going to try to bring Rodgers back for another year. And I don't want to just look past this game.
You already know.
I don't want to look past the rest of the season. There's a lot of football.
What you mean? You're not feeling Lenore Salas, you're not feeling John Maytier, you don't want Drew Allar, you don't want Arch Manning anymore. I'm with you. I'm with you, Mark. I'm with you. I'm going to the darkest street.
Can you imagine what Pittsburgh would be without Rodgers this year?
All right. Come on now.
So, and here's what I'm talking about, right? In the first half, it was 16-7. He's able to run the clock down to effectively not give Green Bay as much time. And they missed a field goal before the end of the first half. Marched right down against the defense, and they only had 34 seconds left in the first half. the clock management, and those are the little things in the nuances of the quarterbacking position. If the Steelers are smart, and I don't know how much money Rodgers would want to play for, because he's making 16 and some change with incentives this year. If they're smart, where would the Pittsburgh Steelers be without Rodgers this year? And I thought that was a bigger question mark than what you expected from what is supposed to be a smash mouth defense, and a defense that wreaks havoc for opposing offenses and that creates takeaways and turnovers and all of these things. That I know it's a whole nother conversation with how the college quarterbacks have played, but and I'm not saying Rodgers has been perfect, but let's look at this. I mentioned the DK. I mentioned the DK play earlier where he gave his receiver a chance in a one-on-one. The money you're paying DK Metcalf to make that play. How about at the very end? And you mentioned the 2-point conversion to Jonnu Smith. Rodgers put it there for his receiver to make the play. You got to make the catch.
You got to catch it, man.
You got to make the catch. So it's like he's at least giving the team opportunities to win, still have a winning record, where this team would be without him in the higher level quarterback play that we have not seen in Pittsburgh since Roethlisberger pre-elbow injury. Straight up, man. Straight up.
That's the part where you look and you say, you're doing certain things right in terms of roster building, right? Because there are people that wanted other quarterbacks, whether they were draft picks, free agents. But you can see where, the Steelers felt confident in their approach and the specific guy that they wanted here because of how they felt he would mesh with Arthur Smith. And you see that. So there are, like I said, a lot more positives than there are negatives with this situation. That's why the record is what the record is. But they're about to go on another little stretch. We're going to find out even more information. Are they as good as we thought they were 3 weeks ago? Or are they middle of the road? We're going to find out.
Right now it's looking like, Arthur, just the way that this is trending. And again,
whoa. No. Because I know it's easy to just go the doom and gloom, right? I'm just saying in the sense of we're going to find out one game at a time. They win this game up against Indianapolis. All of the big overarching, what if da-da-da-da-da, it goes out the way. It becomes a moot point.
Where I'm at is 9-8 might still win you this division. That's what I was going to say.
You think so right now? No.
Here's the thing.
Baltimore got a dub yesterday, man. Baltimore ain't waiting. Man.
With Snoop Huntley.
The Pro Bowler. Yeah, He's a Pro Bowler. Put some respect on the Pro Bowler.
He and Mitch Trubisky. Arthur, this is my 7th season. We were talking before the pod. This is my 7th season doing a Steelers show. Not called Tyler Huntley, Snoop Huntley once, but now that after Ravens win against the Bears, Snoop Huntley. Yeah. Sorry.
He has a cool nickname now.
They did look better with him as their quarterback versus Jackson, and just because he has a more similar skill set to Jackson. Rush, but
that was the part that made it weird for them to move on from him. Yeah.
From Pittsburgh's standpoint, I look at the rest of the division. Oh, man, Cincinnati losing to the Jets and Justin Fields. Oh, man. And then Cleveland, Myles Garrett trying to be a one-man wrecking crew. 5 sacks and they still lose. No other player in NFL history has had 5 sacks and lost by more than 3. And the Browns lost by 19. So if you're Pittsburgh and you want the Yinzer glass half full Kool-Aid this morning, what that is you're not happy the Steelers have lost 2 consecutive games, but you look at the rest of the division, it's like, man, if we can't take home the North this year, then we're having problems, Arthur.
Look, I wish 9-8. I don't think it's going to be like, I think Baltimore's going to try to heat it up a little bit, but I do feel like I said, these next couple of weeks, just got to get through this, man. One game at a time. And then once we get back healthy, that's the other part of it. And everybody is dealing with it to some variation. And you have to figure out ways to overcome it. And that's the frustrating part. It's like, man, feel like, okay, still could have found a way on this game. Still potentially could have found a way 2 games ago. That's the thing that as we start to get on the back end of the schedule, that catches up. That will add up. And that'll have us on the outside looking in, which we don't want. But I don't know. I'm not tripping on what took place last night because the Packers are a good team. Like, I don't think any of us would have came into this matchup and be like, yo, the Packers are bad. The Packers suck. It's like, nah, the
No.
Packers are a good team. We all know this. We all know that the Packers are good. None of us are surprised that Jordan Love is a good quarterback, can throw for 300 plus yards. None of us are. So that's why I'm just like, yeah, between Thursday night and we're seeing that was also being able to be replicated. So not fluke. It wasn't just a Steelers defense, right? It's like, no, we told you what that combo was, man. Flacco was doing that with Jerry Jeudy. You gave him Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. What do you think is about to happen? Holla at the age if you want to. Rodgers proving that, hey, if you protect him or you give him pieces around him, he could. We're seeing it. So you don't think Flacco can do that too? Flacco has never played with receivers like that. You look at him and who's in Baltimore, he never had them options. So it's like, I get it. But Jordan Love is like, yo, you think Flacco's nice? Jordan Love is like, yo, I'm nice, and I'm young. And he looked like the better, younger, nicer quarterback in that stadium, with all due respect to Rodgers, because we felt good about Rodgers. Man, that first bomb he dropped to Roman Wilson, I'm like, oh my God, that's what you want tonight, Rodgers?
I thought we were going to just get like a vintage
Oh,
Rodgers performance.
Man, what?
Yeah.
What? I was like, Lord, that's what you want tonight? Prove a point then. But it was like as the game went on, I'm like, dang, Jordan Love had another one. Jordan Love had another one. And it was, I felt like after that fluky, like I said, the fluky, get out the sack, throw it up, Kraft catches it, and then, flips the field. From there, it just seemed like confidence, momentum shifts. And then he gets that rhythm. And at this level, man, when you get a rhythm and you feeling good and a matchup is working, or matchups in this case are working for you, yeah. And their style of offense, it still isn't a true 5 wide, air it out. It was still balanced. And that's why they're so tough to deal with, because they're still going to show up with Josh Jacobs. They're still going to have Wilson back there. They're still going to have a tight end over there. And it's like, yo, they're still running the ball. Even though they're not dominating, it's just enough. They're not averaging over 4 yards a carry, but it's just enough. You got to play balanced, and now play action pass. Tight ends running over the middle of the field. Oh my God. What's the defense? All right, let's try to run blitz it. Okay, cool. You run blitz it. You get to stop on first down. Great. Let's try to blitz it again. Blitz it now. Play action pass. Now we one-on-one on the back end. It's like, here we are again. But that's the Packers' approach. And then for them, when they're able to get a lead, very similar to us, their defense is designed to play with a lead, to rush the passer. Yep. They don't want to play the run the same way we don't honestly want to play the run. We do it and do it well at times, but you can see that's not what we are designed for. Our guys are elite pass rushers. That's what we have. So that means we're designed to have a defense that when you have a lead, they are going to suffocate you. They're going to overwhelm you. That's what the Packers were. So when you look at how that fourth quarter transition, once they took that lead, and then we went 3-0 and they scored again, it's like, now how do we get the answers to this part? Because we know our offensive line has questions on a regular day. And now with the 10-point deficit, where we all in here know we got to throw the ball, and our extra O lineman is no longer extra O lineman. He's starting O lineman now. This is about to get interesting. And we obviously saw where it was like, yeah, even at the end where Rodgers getting sacked, it's like you could just tell, like, from our vantage point, he didn't even look like he trusted it. Like, all right, where he at? And it's like, when we're getting to that stage of it, you know what this is, man.
In the back of my mind at the end of that game, and I know that if they get where they're down 16, so they need 2 touchdowns and the 2-point conversions. I mean, it was over once Jonnu Smith dropped it. Then it's like, okay, it's over.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
But I was like, can we make sure Rodgers gets out of here healthy, man? To try to chase a deficit that you're just not going to overcome.
Yeah, because think about that. You catch that 2-point,
but that's how I felt.
2-point conversion. You catch the 2-point conversion. You still got 2:07 on the clock.
Yeah, and it's an 8-point game
at
that point.
Heck yeah, we got action. But once again, you got to catch the ball. Was it a play call issue?
Yeah.
Or that call, was it a play call issue? On that call, was it a protection issue? On that call, it was execution. That's like when we keep breaking it down to the foundation of the issues, it's like, as long as it continues to be execution, you feel good about it. When he's not good enough, or these calls are absolutely atrocious, why are we in this particular, and it keeps happening, I think that's a different conversation. I don't feel like this walking out of that stadium last night. It was like, yo, once again, kind of how I've broken it down this morning. our money guys got to step up, especially when we have other guys that are going to be out there because of injuries. And when they don't, this is what we feel. Who's going to make a play? We're hoping for somebody. It's like, no, we should have to hope and wish. We should know the playmakers with confidence. But that's
I
we are
hope
right
you
now,
mentioned
man.
the injuries. Freiermuth left the game, and then he hopped out of the injury tent, was on a bike. I hope he's all right because, you talk about where the money is. The Steelers are paying him a nice salary at the tight end position, too. And a week ago, we saw what he did against the Bengals. You like to see Roman Wilson get into the mix offensively, but got to get right. I mean, the Steelers need a get-right game, and just like I said, it doesn't get any easier against a Colts team that's arguably the AFC's best team at this point. I think they're among the best. I would not say that they are the best, but it doesn't get any easier this coming week. And so I'm with you, Arthur. The jerseys you mentioned, interesting that they looked clean in person. My brother was texting me and he goes, "Are those the Batman Dark Knight Rises jerseys?" He was so confused. I'm like, "No, it's an homage to the 1930s team." And he's like, "Oh, okay." I think after last night's performance, you just got to burn them. You go to the Craig Sager
route. They were loving them, man. They were loving them jerseys in that state. It was like, yo, we got to get these things, man. They was over there trying to buy them off. I'm like, yo, all right, I see the representation in here, man.
I prefer the bumblebees to what I like the bumblebees more than.
And that was so funny thing is this, right? I'm with you. I love bumblebees. I'm biased. The people in the stands though were like, no, we don't. This is what we prefer over bumblebee. Like legit, that was a statement. Like we prefer this look over the bumblebee. I'm like, wow. And so it is funny though to hear like the difference of like perspectives from your vantage point, how you were looking at it versus like in there. And I'm like, shoot, I'm sitting next to people with the dang old jersey on. Like, it's like, yo, y'all got the one over there. Oh, it's like, all right, okay.
They must have been even see like the super Arthur. They must have been a hell of a tailgate.
Then they would see people in there with like the super like OG Rod Woodson version, like all of that in there, man. Yeah, they was digging the jerseys, man. Heck yeah. So I'm like, better credit. You know what I mean? The jersey will look better, feel better if you're winning the next time. But when you look like how you did last night, it's like, yo, it's a tough sell, man. It's a tough sell. But for sure in the stadium, man, and it wasn't, like I said, just one person. Because, I was in there. I had to stay. I was in there. It was a blast until it wasn't. All right? It was a blast until it wasn't. But the energy was right, man. I was like, yo, I like where we was at. 3/4 of it. Because, like you said, top team in the NFC. We're about to play a top team in the AFC. I love these games. This is clarity because if you win this game, you know exactly who you are. If you lose this game, you know exactly who you are. Whereas when you win versus the Browns, we're going to hear all the excuses of why we won, right? And if we lose, it was a Tomlin loss, right? So it's like, man, just give us the best teams. Let's get to the bottom of it. And you mean to tell me for 3/4 versus what we all consider one of the best teams in the NFC, we were up? Okay. Oh, okay. Cool.
Always have the glass half full perspective, Arthur.
No, that's not glass half. No, that's not glass half full. That's just legit down the middle facts. Like it's just what it is. Right. Because at that same point, you lose, you keep losing. It's like you suck. Yeah. But did you not have the lead? 3/4 of football, right? Versus all the stuff we're gonna holler about. Did they or did they not have the lead on the scoreboard when it started the fourth quarter? Yes or no? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
So through 3/4 of ball, we were the better team. I'm not tripping. Through 3/4 of ball. If I'm making it up, just show me where. But that's what it boils down to. Yeah. And we both said what happened in that fourth quarter. They did what to us? How many times you said? 3 times, right? They had a 2-point conversion there and everything, right? It's like, that's the difference right there, though. The finish, they got after us. And that to me let me know that, hey, they're further along than where we are because we play the same method of ball. We're going to slow wind you, and then right at the end choke you out. And everything was lining up. Slow wind you. Okay, we right to where we want to be. Time to choke them out. And it was like, nah, they reversed it on us. It was with the Uno reverse, man. Here, take 4. I'm like, oh, Lord, no, not the draw. Not that one. And then before we know, we're like, oh Lord, what was a lead has now turned into a 10-point deficit. God.
The
No. We were praying for the 10-point deficit, right? It's like, God, this is gory right now, man.
The Uno reversed the sickest card in Uno, and I think this is a newer iterations of the game,
man.
Arthur, when you can change hands with anyone playing Uno, where it's like, hey, I got this stack of cards here, you've got one card left, let's switch. And it was just like they did.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
The fourth,
because
was
it
there
felt
something
like we were.
you mentioned the Kraft play and how you felt that flipped the momentum. Was there something that the Packers were doing in the fourth quarter at the game where you're like, this is the difference in the fourth quarter compared to the first three quarters of the game? Was there something specifically they were doing that stuck out to you, Arthur?
Yeah, you heard me keep bringing up Brandon Echols, and I say it with respect, but you would see the same numbers in some of these situations where they were just having plays be made. And when I'm seeing that on occasion, but specifically in that quarter, it's like, okay, bet. Well, who else is out here that can offset that? And when I look into my core and we're all in the same section, this is like, okay, well, who's about to make the play? All right, who's going to make the play? All right, it's got to be this one. All right, cool. I know that's first down. Okay, cool. But somebody's about to make the play. Somebody in these front got to make this play. And that was the thing that it was just like, yeah, if they're not going to be able to make a play while we're watching every time we go to drop back in that fourth quarter, Aaron Rodgers is under duress. Aaron Rodgers knows, hey, man, that clock is – it can't be like that. Can't be like that.
They held Jacobs relatively in check, 13 carries, only 33 yards. He had the touchdowns. Nice play in the touchdown runs. Wilson had 61
and once
yards
again,
on 11
and
carries.
Think about on the touchdown run. Who did he step around? We saw earlier on in the game, we had the one-on-one, right? We saw earlier in the game the one-on-one with Ramsey. He made that play, right?
And so as the corner there, you at least have to force that play back in at the very least, if not try to make the tackle. But Arthur, we were talking about this.
It's like I can't put that on 2-6 who's like, yo, that's not who we expect to be our best dude or one of. It's like, yo, but that was who was in that position right there. That's the frustrating. I'm just like,
and people who tune in and listen to watch us, Arthur, this is I'm a broken record saying this. Yet another game the Steelers did not win time of possession. Yet another game. I think they've only won time of possession once this year.
Yeah. No time of possession win and no turnover win. Yeah. Recipe for disaster. All right. That is not how we win games in Pittsburgh right now. That's not how we do it. We have to win in those margins. You have to get the turnover battle. You have to. And if not, you better dominate the trenches in terms of that pass rush, that the QB hits, the sacks. You have to have that part of it. I thought penalty-wise, it was pretty cool. Like I didn't feel like it was overly one way or the other. We obviously know the Parsons questionable, and that's fair, right? But every game we say they're going to have a questionable or two called. That doesn't make or break the game. Do we talk about momentum swings? Sure. Did it have a little bit of an impact? We can make a case because just how the flow of it went. But we still had opportunities to win. And that's what we always continue to hang our hat on, where it's like, man, I'm not looking to find an excuse. Excuses, all right, man, just put it on that guy and exclusively on that guy, or we'll just put it on the refs. And that's the reason. It's like, nah, we got beat in all of our high-end matchups. That's where we lost at. And when you lose in those matchups like that and everything else is even, yeah, this is what it's going to look like.
I hope Jordan Love is buying his offensive lineman nice steak dinners this week because
man, all that money he got, he better.
Sacks,
yeah,
0 sacks against the Steelers. Like, we talk about our offensive line development a lot.
No excuse,
man. To keep him clean like that, it's just like
no excuse. That's highest paid, right? Where's the money at? Highest paid. Got to be better there, man.
How did the field look? Because I know a week ago I know they resodded it.
Okay, it looked clean.
Good.
The only person we saw slipping was Jacobs. Josh Jacobs was the only one we thought had like bad foot out there. It was like every time we watch, like every time you cut, you slip into the ground. But other than that, everybody else looked good. That field looked nice. It was butter soft though, man. I was down there touching the grass. This the football field I miss. This the one I love right here. Hit a little less miles on, you know.
I didn't see any Acrisure Stadium pigeons before the game either. So I didn't
Nope.
see any of that because I know that
No
pigeons
pigeons
out
out
there.
there.
Oh
The
man.
pigeons, they were chilling. They were like, no, you gotta earn us. You gotta earn us back. Okay, we're not here right now. So yeah, I was a little saddened by that. Or maybe it was
Okay.
because it was late night. Maybe we'll throw it on the late night. They were
Sure.
sleeping. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you though, man, there is nothing like prime time in Pittsburgh though, man. The energy, it is always like just the best time, man. Like the
Yeah.
crowd comes out, and when you have a marquee opponent as well, like Green Bay fans, they travel. So we know black and gold showing up heavy. But it was also cool to see the different like variations of their cheddar head, right? The cheese head, especially with the all white. It is like it just made for a dope fan atmosphere. Like I said, in the first 3 quarters. First 3 quarters, it was everything we wanted because they felt as if they should be the dominant team in the matchup because of all these things we've been talking about, right? Man, it was, yo, we got Parsons over here. We got this. Yeah, we got Love. Yeah, we got, both the receivers back. Who y'all gonna go? Who you go? It's like, yo, all of that. And it's like, yeah, we still on your head. Yeah, we still doing what we need to do. Love, that's cool. We still doing what we need to do, baby. What's the word? 3 of them quarters, still right here we want to be, socking them right back, swinging right back. And then it got weird in the stadium. Just got weird. It's like, yo, it's getting weird. No, it's getting weird. Yeah, it's weird now. Then it got all the way weird.
Love did a good job of distributing the ball around too. I know Kraft's going to get a lot of the limelight, but it wasn't just him. Like
it what?
He's like a point
It
guard
was
in
full
basketball.
service.
Where,
Yep.
yeah, man.
Watson, Dobbs, all of them. It was like whoever he saw that had the better matchup or whoever was able to come open after, us being aggressive with the blitz at times. It's like, yeah, he was distributing it. But it was, to me, it still held true. They still didn't do it in a way where you feel panic. And what I mean is bombs. Same way Cincinnati didn't hit you with bombs. It's the short, it was the quick, it was the intermediate. It was I'm hit you to the flat, I'm hit you with this 10, I'm hit you with this 6. Versus Cincinnati, we had our guys out there, healthy guys, and it was like, yeah, man, our guys at their best versus their receivers at their best, that's an L for us. Cool. This week, it's their receivers at their best, our depth guys, as the game kind of goes on. All right, we can see where that kind of weighs on us. But that's the matchup where I keep having that eye on it. It's like, man, we're going to get that back healthy, and that's going to turn soon. That's going to turn. But if dudes don't get healthy, then yeah, guys got to step up or you start looking for other resources, man, whether that's trade market or free agency.
That's the big thing too, yeah. Arthur, because we've mentioned it a few times, you got too.
A little bit over a week left. Yeah.
November the 4th, 4 o'clock Eastern time is the deadline. I know they're bringing in Marquez Valdez-Scantling for a workout as well at the receiver position, so keep an eye on that in terms of just trying to make.
And they've been linked to a couple of what was the receivers with the Saints too?
Olave.
They were talking about, I think it was Shaheed.
Yeah,
I think that was the one.
Yeah.
So it's like prior to this game, I think a lot of us would have been in agreement that, yeah, man, wide receiver 2 is still something that we're kind of leaning more on. But I'm looking on this other side and it's like, okay, if health is going to continue to be a concern or continue to be an issue, maybe we need to add something over there, because as much as I would love to just have the confidence that our model of success will be able to, be packaged and replicated, our pass rush has been inconsistent at times. And the Packers offensive line to me isn't a group that I felt like should be able to blank us. Like you said, 0 sacks.
I'm very curious to see what Jonathan Taylor and who's my guy, the guard for the Colts.
Oh, Quentin
Nelson, thank you.
Yeah.
What that looks like a week from now against Pittsburgh, because that to me, like Arthur, it's like there's different ways that you can attack a defense and everything. The Colts are going to really try to establish Taylor and then, like you said, set up the play action pass versus Love. A little bit more spread style. The Steelers' run defense did look a little bit better compared to the week before against Cincinnati, but it's like are you going to get carved up for a third straight week? But it's, different strategies in terms of how the carving is done, if you will. But again, this Colts team's rolling right now, and Taylor gets, he's been like the fantasy MVP. He's been rolling right now. Seriously,
like back healthy, man.
And
he's a good player.
Let me revise. I lied. Let me revise what I just said. He's been in the conversation. I know they'll never give it to a running back for league MVP. He's played that well. And then Warren, the rookie, the tight end, he's been outstanding too. So great. You load up the box and you make sure you know where Warren's at. Then the guys on the outside beat you. And it's the reason why Daniel Jones has morphed into Indiana Jones this year. So that's going to be your challenge a week from now, to try to get this right and to get off of a 2-game losing streak.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of it. That's what I love about it. It's like, all right, you know what the situation is. You know what the mission is. It doesn't get easier. And that's why you're there. You're the best in the world for a reason. Go out there and prove it. Your track record shows that you have always proven it. You've always figured it out. So let's see if you can continue that streak, or do you have different conversations? You can't get to the different conversations part until you go through the actual journey of it. And that's why it's like you can't rush to just, oh man, pay that guy everything or fire that guy. It's like, nah, let the story play out. Let it play out. Because we're going to feel very different if this goes in a way where the black and gold wins on Sunday, right? We'll be over here like, oh, hey, we learned a lot. They done figured out some things. Whoa, even with some of the injuries on the back end. Whoa, we know what that Indianapolis Colts team is. And then we'll have the skeptics. Oh, man, I told you the Colts weren't good like that, man. That's all that was. Y'all ain't nice. Just the Colts ain't good. I get it, right? Because we see it all the time. Same way we beat the Patriots. It was like, oh, man, no, it was more the Patriots doing that than y'all winning. It's like, yeah, the Patriots done won 5 in a row now.
That game was takeaways, straight up.
Patriots won 5 in a row, right? But we did that. We did that. It wasn't them just giving away. We took the ball away.
But I'm saying the Steelers-Patriots game, what was it, a 5-1 turnover ratios? The takeaways that won that game for Pittsburgh. Steelers are 3-point home underdogs against the Colts. So
they were dogs versus the Packers too.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful part. So if they already are dogs, right? Expectations shouldn't. Yeah. But we've already seen that doesn't matter either, because the Vikings were also favored. And then when they beat the Vikings, it was, hey, nope, man, they just barely got out of there. And it's like, they were supposed to win anyways, right?
Hang on, but
so
that one
how are they
too,
barely get out?
So you look at this on paper too, and Carson, like if you go through the Steelers, I can point to like 1 or 2 reasons in each of the games with the Steelers, with the lucky to go against Carson Wentz too. Like it's just the reality of the situation.
As long as you're winning, nobody cares.
Yeah.
As long as you're winning, man.
Yeah.
Because when you lose, we're going to talk about every which reason why it wasn't good enough. But when you win, it's, hey, man, hey, all these other reasons. So it's like, just win. Nobody cares. Just win. So right now, they still have won more than they have lost. As long as you keep doing that, you'll be all right. When you start having that shift, that's when things get weird. That's when, you start having legitimate conversations about who's employed and who's not employed. People want to jump to that, though. It's like, you can't jump to that just yet, man.
How concerned are you, though, with the defense, though? Like, I don't know, scale of 1 to 10, where are you at?
I told you, I'm not overly concerned, because to me, it still is personnel related. And that personnel is still predicated off of the health. When I have my full healthy 11 out there and they're getting dog walked, then I'll have a different level of concern. But right now, I'm still at a 6 tops, because I'm like, I need to know what the availability is of my guys. Now, if those guys are no longer going to be available, okay, now we got to see what's the next course of action. But if I know these guys are coming back the same way offensively, Calvin Austin came back. It was like, all right, cool, man. He ain't dominate, but it was like, he drew a penalty out there. It was good to see out there, right? It opened up some opportunities for Roman Wilson. Maybe he stepped up because you were there. Maybe he felt a little bit more urgency. Dog behind me, so I got to run faster, right? Maybe it was that vibe. So I look at that part and I'm like, when I can find out how soon I can get that highest paid group out there, then I can go out there and have are they feel really good about them or I don't? But I haven't seen my group. I want to see my group versus the best. I would love to have the full group versus the Colts, so I can really know what it is. But if I'm not going to get that, then you have to just continue to find ways to put Band-Aids on bullet holes at times. That's what, and the way to do that is you create turnovers, you create splash. You have a great kicker. right? These are how you put the Band-Aids on the holes. Until you could get it back, it's like, yo, Band-Aid it, Band-Aid it, Band-Aid it, and pray that you don't run out of Band-Aids or pray that you don't run into a bigger gun. But let's be real. Jordan Love, their offense was the bigger gun. It's like, oh, all right, Band-Aid this. Okay, well, Band-Aid that by the blitz. Okay, well, Band-Aid the blitz with this. Okay, well, sub that guy in for that. And it's like, yep, all right, cool. You know he got an automatic though, right? Whew. We run out of Band-Aids tonight, man.
To your point about getting healthy again, though, again, we're recording this on Monday, so a lot can change.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if Deshaun Elliott plays against the Colts. That's just from what I saw on Sunday night. Again, not a doctor, but to your point about that, Arthur, some Band-Aids and maybe some Neosporin and maybe some Vaseline. You know,
it's like man, I'm over here like, yo, sub that guy in. Okay, he's out there now. What you gonna take him out for? Who? Who's next? It's like, yeah, bro, we running out of people. Okay, blitz. All right, cool. So
I cannot wait till I see that. And honestly, just send them the timestamps YouTube clip of earlier. Of like, yeah, let's just blitz more because that's just. And look, I credit yes, is blitzing 15 times for this defense, Arthur? Is that too much?
That's a lot.
Maybe it is
a
lot.
A lot. When you think of who is out there.
At least you're trying to take matters into your own hand and to be. I understand the thought process of trying to be the aggressor. I understand that, but it didn't work. It didn't work.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, you don't sugarcoat it. Just because you're trying something, it doesn't mean that you get a attaboy. You still have to have the results. It's results-based business. And when you are winning, you're getting the results. And that's why you hear my temperament or even how I communicate about the organization, whether we're talking players or coaching staff, it has a different tone when you're winning. When you lose, though, it starts to shift. When you lose a couple in a row, it starts to change. And that's the thing where it's like I said, everybody wants accountability. Nobody wants to praise. We just want accountability. Nobody wants to say, hey, man, hey, you're awesome, man. I love when this happened, right? We just look for whatever was the negative at any portion of the season, even though we still, when we get down to the foundation of it, have had a more successful 8 weeks of NFL football for the black and gold than not. And the record reflects that. We still don't talk like that. So that's the part where it's like, yo, just keep it going there. One game at a time. And at the end of the season, if it is less than, then yeah, now you get that blood, you get that accountability, but you can't get to that at this stage of the season. But that's where I'm at with it, man. That's where I'm at with it. So let's keep it going. Let's find out. Let's get these answers, man.
Yeah,
But what's your level, man? How you feeling about it, man?
I'm closer.
Where are you at today, man?
I'm closer to a 10 than you, and it's just like I look at.
And what would you do also to improve your level of concern about them with what our current situation is?
All right, we talk about, and these are all cliches a lot of times. What happens with your defense when they could rest on the sidelines and if you won TOP for a game? I don't expect that against the Colts because of Jonathan Taylor's ability to run the ball. And it's like, do you trust Jonathan Taylor and the Colts at 7-1 versus what we've seen from the Steelers at this point with Jaylen Warren and company? I would love to see a game of what happens when you win time of possession and you're able to keep your offense on the field. If the defense is struggling and has injuries, what better way to play defense than just to keep them off the field outright to sustain drives?
But versus last night, how do you accomplish that? Because we're not trying to do it versus the less than teams. We know we could do it versus the less than. How do you do it last night?
Well, your money players have to make plays. So we mentioned up front. The other play that I could clearly identify last night is, and I think DK's had a nice season for the Steelers. He's got to make that play one-on-one. You told me this a week ago, Arthur. We sat here and you said, if you're paying him $30+ million as one of the top, in terms of pay, top 5, top 10 wide receivers in the league, you got to make that play. Jonnu Smith at the end, look, if the Steelers convert the 2-point conversion, cut it to 8. I'm not going to say, they come back and win, but at least they continue to have the opportunity to stay in the game.
It's a way different finish. It's a way different timing-wise. It's a way different finish because you're going to get that ball back with an opportunity. It's not a ton of time, but you're going to get a legitimate chance. And we know Rodgers is a Hail Mary guy. You know he has a shot. It's like, you drop it.
For what
you're not even rookie money. You're not even rookie money. You're paid.
Yeah.
You're
So
one of my
for
money
what
guys.
you gave up to acquire him, those are plays. And even if you get one of those two plays, I'm not saying that totally changes the outcome. But then up front, I mean, you mentioned the balance. Love threw the ball 37 times, 0 sacks, 26 carries for 94 yards. So they had a nice balance offensively, even though Arthur, I mean, that was your biggest concern against Cincinnati. We're stopping the run. And this was interesting. I thought this was interesting. During the Tomlin Tuesday this past week, that is the very first thing Mike Tomlin mentioned.
Because you got to make them one
Was
dimensional.
stopping the run.
Yeah, make them one dimensional.
The very first thing he mentioned. So against Green Bay last night, oh man, if we're worried about what Kraft can do at tight end with Warren and the Colts too, and I know he's a rookie, but he looks like, I'm not trying to make this hyperbole, like the best tight end in football. You better know where he's at on the field against Indianapolis, and Taylor's got to be, he's got to be your attention, your focus. He has to be. He has to be.
Once again, we know what it's going to boil down to then.
On the outside, and you're one-on-ones.
All right. You see what I'm saying? It's like we don't have a we don't have a team that is structured differently.
Smith,
they have to win.
Smith. Yeah,
they have to win.
Yeah,
our team is designed for our stars to carry us. That's the foundation of it.
Yeah.
So if they do not, we will be right back in here having the same conversation. And I'm down for that. You know I'm down for it. But but this is what it is. It's like, don't be surprised. If we don't win there, we'll be So here we are, baby. Here we are.
It's almost like they're hamstrung a bit. I mean, part of it's injuries, but it's like you see how many, this impacts that impacts. It's just, I tell you what, too, if Seumalo's out too and talking about trying to establish your ground game, if Anderson's got to start at left guard, that impacts your ability to run the ball.
And this is for a conversation for a different day because, like I said, I know we're about to finish up everything, but this is also why, and when we get to the offseason, we can really get into it, but allocation of resources. When we are as top heavy as we are, when injuries happen at other places while those top end guys aren't dominating, you can see the strain. You can see where the holes show up. And if they're not going to be able to consistently do what we need, that's the conversation in the offseason where you say, maybe this isn't the best approach. Maybe we need to spend a little bit more evenly around. And maybe you have more of the Cole Holcomb type players, the Patrick Queen type players versus the elitely high paid. But like I said, it's for a different day. Because some people are going to look at that and say, well, why do we keep paying these guys heavy money like that?
I'll say it. Say it. I miss Landon Roberts. There's times I miss.
Yeah.
What's my guy, Robert Spillane, just to put the face in the fire. Just thumpers where, A gap, B gap point of attack where it's like they're downhill, not as sound in the passing game. They're more run stoppers, but like we just need whether it's a Watt sack with the leg kick, like it's like where is just the swag defensively? And I know we've seen it in games with Ramsey this year, but like he's also the newcomer to this group. It's like where are the guys that have been here for years where it's like, all right, enough of this. I'm gonna go make a play. Haven't seen that in the last few weeks. Haven't.
So you keep hearing me say the same. I sound like a broke record over here. You said, who are those guys? Well, Patrick Queen, this is only his, second year here? Okay. Darius Slay's his first year here. Brandon Eccles, new. Okay. Thornhill, new. Chuck Clark, new. What's this D-line you said? Whoa. It's a lot of repeat faces in there. It's a lot of people I know in there. I know these people real well. I even know the depth guys real well. You catch what I'm saying? So I don't want to keep being the guy, but it's like, it's right there. It's fucking, that's the answer. It's right there. So hopefully they could do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, we got to give the Colts like amnesia or something to give just TJ Watt one-on-ones off the edge and just say like, hey,
man?
Go turn Indiana Jones back into Danny Dimes and Daniel Jones. How's that sound?
But the same way we didn't give Parsons all of these exclusive one-on-ones just by result, it's like, yo, he had to earn some of that. It's like, yo, they not going to make it easy on you, and rightfully so. They're going to tighten you. They're going to chip you. They're going to slide to you, but you're paid to overcome all of that. And on the other side, too, it ain't just TJ. Highsmith as well. Herbig as well. It's like, yo, y'all guys are paid. You guys are drafted to overcome some of these things, man.
Well,
we've seen you do it, and that's the other part. We've seen them do it.
We talk about the money, and Boswell's in a contract year. I just hope the league doesn't mandate that he has to kick with his left foot, because he makes making a 56-yard field goal look easy.
Absolutely, man. Even us in the stadium, we're just kind of like, yo, even us in the stadium, we just felt good about it. And that's why you employ him. That's definitely why you employ him. But like I said, we're going to see how we respond next week, man. We know what everything is and who they are. So, like I said, I'm excited about it, baby. So we're going to go from there, man.
At least they're at home as well. At least they're at home, because I do think that the home field advantage does typically help in Pittsburgh's favor. But
we're going to find out, baby. We're going to find out. We got to
end this losing streak, Arthur, because it's just like I'm just on this Monday, it's just morbid.
Like I said, I can definitely dig it, man, but it is all good. It is all good. We have powered through this tough debacle, and we are hopefully not going to have to do this again anytime soon, but we shall see. But hopefully y'all enjoyed it. And if you did, you know that you hit that like button one time for the culture, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Mark, appreciate you as always, baby. And shout out to the sweater as well. Like I said, you were sharp today, man. Sharp today. All right. I don't want these L's to bring out this anymore. Okay. But I do. Yeah. I just had to acknowledge you today. I had to acknowledge you. But with that being the case, that will conclude this. We do appreciate you for tuning in. And until next time, baby. Peace.